Good evening, chat. Give me one moment. Make some more noises here. Welcome everyone. Sorry for that delayed start. Forgot to get my microphone on before we got going here. Hello Cosmic. Hello JK. Oh, those. Hello Penguin. Welcome. Let's see here. Let's get some coffee going. Hello to everyone. We're gonna be cooking that cut off of the rib roast. The holiday rib roast. Pulled it out of the freezer because I knew it was going to at least get partially defrosted by all of the stock that I put in the freezer. And so we're having steak tonight, chat. Got some mildly large russets. At this point, I mean, yeah, they have the like semi-truck russet thing, and there's some massive russet potatoes out there. These aren't exactly small though. So we got these for with the rest of everything. Going to do twice baked potatoes. We're going to cook these potatoes. We're going to cut them, pull all the insides out, mix it with a whole bunch of good stuff like sour cream, cheddar cheese, chives, and other herbs, and butter. Lots of butter too. And then repack them. Make sure there's enough cheese on top that it gets a little nice coat on top. And rebake them. We'll start preheating our oven actually for those potatoes. You know, I have bacon in the house. I wasn't planning bacon with potatoes, but quit blowing on my filter there, fan. Why, hello there! Ooh, cake. I like cake. Welcome, Annikus. Thank you for that raid. I greatly appreciate it. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, I'm Chef JT. Cook here on Twitch 4 nights a week. We're doing steak tonight. Is that my computer beeping at me in back? I hope that's not my computer beeping at me in back. Awesome. Tell me what you were up to tonight, Annikus. Always start my streams off with a cup of coffee. Ooh. I originally read that as 7 layers for some reason. But 7 hours, both of those are, wow. Thank you for joining me, everyone, tonight. Cheers. Thank you for the follow. We got our oven preheating for our potatoes, for our initial bake on the potatoes. But I should probably get this thing out of here. Allow it to start warming up to room temp. We're gonna have to cut the bone off of it because I don't feel like dealing with that tonight. So for anyone new in here, I cooked a rib roast or prime rib. I cooked in an immersion circulator or sous vide cooked it and then reverse seared it. This is part of it that I cut off for later consumption. This is a prime cut of beef. And I'm not just randomly using the word prime. I mean, it was, as far as U.S. grading, this is a USDA prime grade ribeye with the bone in. Enjoy. Thank you so much for the raid. This bone here is relatively flat. You just need to get up underneath it here. I guess not. Maybe I should stop saying things I don't know for sure. So I'm running down against the edge of the bone here. Questionably too much there. I'm gonna live with it. This is a true butcher's knot, by the way, chat. That right there. Because it doesn't completely release before you can make the second tie to it. A lot of people claim that a slip knot that's locked in some form is a butcher's knot. No. It's just a triple folded square knot. And then the other great thing with this is we've now got this nice and tight like this. Now our second pull to this is going to just tighten down even more on this now. I didn't do that very well, but it typically tightens down even more than that. Thank you for the follow. These lovely bits here are going to be gravy making material. Not all the fat though. Fat we can use for in the pan before we put the steak in there. So we just cook it with that. This I'm also going to use in the sauce, but it's just more going to be poached in the sauce, braised in the sauce. I'm not going to salt this ahead of time. I am going to let it out here early to warm up to somewhat closer to room temp. I have no problem with leaving a steak out for an hour or even a little bit more than that before putting it on the grill. Health department is going to hate you for that statement. Temperature wise, I think it makes a much better product. Thank you for joining in, Rage. Thank you for the follow. Alright, we're going to pull this off of the cutting board for right now. Like I said, we're just going to allow this to come to temp. I'm going to throw this up on the stove for right now, though, so it's pretty on the camera. Throw this stove up on there, too. And we're going to cut up some onion to make our gravy. I think I'm going to go with red onion. if I previously tore open the netted bag of onions there or not. If I have, it's got a new one now. And I've got my knife with the steak. I want to use this for cutting onions. Or onion. I'm going to be cooking on cast iron skillet on my gas range. My well-ventilated gas range. And I also regularly open the windows in my house because I have a gas range in the house. I'm going to be making a beef bouillon and onion gravy, and then the steak itself, I'm going to use butter and herbs to finish. Oh, joy dances with felines. My understanding is they even have pet insurance and all that good stuff these days. I don't remember that being around when I was a kid. Then again, as a kid, you don't worry about things like pet insurance. What's my favorite cut for a steak? Hanger. Actual hanger. Most stores do not sell actual hanger. I've cooked it a couple of times on stream. It's not the most cleanest, beautiful single steak, but I like the steak itself the best. It's got decent marbling, but it's also got a lot of a path of sinew going through the center of it that you got to clean up. Though the last time I went to the local butcher, actual butcher, not like store butcher, they were actually cleaning them up for people. Selling them already cleaned up, which is nice. So let's get going with starting our sauce here tonight, our gravy. Oh, that's a nice perk. It's probably one of those you only get so many options, sort of that thing. Let's see if we can get this into the zoom window here. Oh, you're on top of everything, aren't you? Yeah, that's not gonna work. Am I holding this on an angle you can read it? Not really. There we go. All over the place with that thumb. To season it, my primary cooking oil is sunflower, organic sunflower. However, for seasoning, I suggest flaxseed. Horrible for cooking with, amazing for making a good cure or good seasoning. But I haven't seasoned any of my stuff in many years. I just regularly use it and make sure that they stay drying somewhat clean. Salt. I actually still have the bottle of flaxseed in my fridge. I should probably get rid of it because it goes rancid. While that's going, let's get some bacon going too. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put some bacon in this now. That's a hazard of using your mouse in the kitchen. I just banged it twice with the cutting board and I have no idea what it clicked. I'm not going to be that specific about it, Derek. I just want a really good sear on it. I am not afraid of even a black and blue, but I intend to cook it a little bit more than that. Normally I cook my bacon in the oven, but not going to tonight. I'm just doing it in a pan here real quick. I am going to take a fork, rinse off and poke the outsides of these potatoes while I'm at this too. While I'm over here. Hi, Cosmic. Doing great. Working on taters. I think I did a better job of chopping my onions for gravy the other night. These are a little larger and maybe shouldn't have done that. We're going to take the steak off the stove. I was trying to keep it over there to be nice and pretty and on camera like that. I sort of think of choice baked potatoes as like upscaled potato skins. That said, you can do some very beautiful, very thin, just potato skins, almost like potato chips. But when I say potato skins, I think of the typical American restaurant, which is like typically a pool of cheese. Potatoes going in the oven for a bit. Just gonna set them on the rack. No salt on the outside or anything right now. Salt on the outside might have been a good call, but we'll leave it. But those are going to need a while in there like that. Alright, we got these onions nice and browned now. They're definitely not cooked through yet, but they are brown, which is mostly what we need here. I forgot to get more. I've got more flour. I just haven't gotten it out. I'm just going to throw some other types of flour in here. What wine am I pairing? I have a box of Cab Sav. I do wine a bit more, and I used to do it a lot more than I do these days. So we have our roux there. Yeah, I'm sort of tempted to add even more flour there. I think we're okay with that. Add water to that. Bacon's starting to sizzle over on the side here too. It's on the other side of the stove here. Starting to sizzle. Hey, they can see me. Adding some beef bouillon to that party. Miller Lite ain't bad. I'm not much of a beer guy. I went out and bought a ton of Anchor Steam right when they went under, and I still haven't gone through all of that. I just much rather, what I typically have if I'm going to have something is a Glencairn of bourbon these days. But I have been working on this box of wine for a little bit. Ham and bean soup. I say that not to be funny about suggesting a different soup, but it's actually on my list of things to do. Now this looks gorgeously done, but this actually needs to sit here and simmer for at least another 15 minutes or so in order to cook out that flour flavor from the roux. So we'll add a little more water than we actually want and allow it to cook down a little bit. Or cook through a little bit. And that's the downside to a roux versus a cornstarch slurry. There's also the negative health impacts of the butter, but there's also the positive impacts of the butter. So that's why I like roux. I like butter. But as far as the ham, you can also do a ham and pea like salad. Whether you like mayo or not, there's different options there. Well, it's the I wouldn't consider butter healthy compared to water and starch. And considerably less starch than, like, you're using the same amount of starch with the flour regardless. But more moisture you can pull off the outside of this, the better. If you can throw it in the fridge open air like I did the rib roast, likely even better as well. But you definitely want to get that away from it, because it's just liquid you have to cook off before you're making an actual nice sear on it. Bacon's cooking on a pretty low temp here. You can see I barely got any color to it right now. It's I want to get that nice and crispy even though I'm doing it in the pan, so it's going to be low and slow affair. Last in the fridge, couple of days. Not very long, unfortunately. Beans are not expensive. If you have to wait on it, I would throw it in the freezer. It's always not a great idea to throw things in the freezer because they lose, regardless if it's the first time, second time, third time, they lose texture, they lose. What happens with most vegetables and most meats is the cell walls. When ice crystals form, they break the cell walls, and that then causes degradation. And so a lot of time you'll hear people, don't freeze anything more than once. Well, it's better than letting it go completely bad. All right, I'm happy with this gravy, so this is now going to go up on the top corner here. We're gonna make another roux. Let's get a hand towel over here now. Handles are starting to get warm. All my handles are starting to get warm. Hush, you bacon. Trying to spit hot oil at me. Hush. Actually going to turn that flame down even more. Adding a slow flame underneath the gravy back there just to keep it cooking. Might need to add some butter to this party too, or maybe we'll add a little more beef fat. What I'm working on now is going to be the base gravy or the base sauce for the vegetable gratin. I'm just using frozen vegetable mix. I believe it's broccoli, cauliflower, and carrot. And I'm going to mix that with basic bechamel, but I'm going to use the beef fat for making the bechamel, for making my roux for the bechamel, and coat that with, I haven't 100% decided, I think I still have breadcrumbs. Yeah, I have breadcrumbs and Parmesan, the usual. Got a whole bunch of herbs in the house too that we can toss in with that. But otherwise it's just fancy frozen veggies. Might have gone a little too far with turning the bacon down. This is also the pan I intend to cook the steak in later, but have to make the sauce first. Almost there with that. Which spoon do I choose for this project? No. I like metal spoons, but they're too loud on stream. They just perfectly pick up on the microphones in ways that are just ew. Chalk on or fingernails on a chalkboard. Ew. And some water in with this now too. still have some milk around the house, so we're using milk instead of half and half. Turn the heat off on the bacon. Just gonna let that coast from here. Need to get it off of onto some paper towel though, so they can get crispy. How are you not boiling yet? Coffee break. How's everyone's Friday? Anyone doing exciting this weekend? What's new and exciting, everyone? Nice. Repairing maintenance or you project car? Yeah, I think my truck needs service here myself soon. I was noticing a couple days ago, belt's making some noise. Add a bit more liquid in here. This didn't thicken up as much as I would like it to have. I guess we don't need a ton of bechamel though either, because we're not making a huge thing of veggies here. We'll add all of our other seasonings in here though now. A pinch of salt. Other salt. Pepper. Onion powder. Garlic powder. I'll often break into things, but I don't eat on stream. I'll show people that. I also throw photos in the Discord and often relay in Discord what I felt of a dish. Mustard powder. That was maybe a bit heavy on the mustard there. But I like mustard, so we'll be okay. I'll be okay with it. Alright, gonna turn the flame off on that and let that sit for a little bit. But if you're just joining in, you're looking at that small little version of the steak here. We can turn that and change that to look like this. And additionally, give that a turn so that we can dry the other side off on this. Get another 20 minutes at least on our potatoes. What do I want to put this gratin in tonight, chat? Let's use the small bacon. Cast iron. I'm using the bacon in, cooking the bacon in. I've always sort of felt awkward eating on stream. Like, I sit there and watch other people cook and eat on stream, and I'm just like, okay, how much of this is real and how much of this is you saying, ooh, this is so delicious because you're on stream? Like, I don't talk a lot when I'm eating in that sense. I also don't have a very elegant area for sitting down and eating. Technically, that would be down in front of this counter here. I don't use this house for that. I don't have the room to use it like that, unfortunately. And so, vast majority of my dinners are either couch, lazy boy, or most often computer desk. Extra oil here. What am I saving this extra oil for? Because it's bacon fat, and we should save bacon fat. Oh, bot cuisine. It's just a little protein. I'd only be worried about it if you have shellfish allergies. I don't know if worms really fit into that same area, but Alright, this is actually looking pretty good here. I'm surprised. I didn't think that was going to turn out as thick as it has. We want to have it relatively thick too, because I'm using frozen veggies, which in turn are going to release a bunch of liquid into the pan. They're already coated in ice here. I'm just sort of trying to nicely fill out the pan without making it somewhat even in its thickness. We're going to take our bechamel and pour that over the top of these. We're going to salt these first though. The frozen veggies is making the sauce thicken up even more, which is making it harder to properly get everything coated here. Perhaps something to keep in mind if you try this yourself. This is... There's no recipe here other than basic. This is what a gratin is with veggies. I haven't tried doing this with frozen vegetables before. I'm trying to anticipate the liquid that they will be letting off as they cook. Welcome, Splits! And take a little of this cheese off of this not green at all cheese. But we'll hit that up with a layer of Parmesan, real Parmesan. I probably should stop using real Parmesan as much as I do, because the flavor is amazing, and if you have it as the flavor, it's amazing. But sort of like my opinion of olive oil, it's maybe not something I should be cooking with as much as I am, or using in bulk as much as I am in certain cases. Oh, I've had this chunk of Parmesan for a minute. They can see me, and so yeah, there is a little funkiness to the outside of it, but the part I was grated was not part of that. And actually the government's opinion on block cheese. If you've got mold on it, just cut it off. That's why block cheese is always superior to grated cheese, because rarely do you ever go through the shredded cheese. Well, if you're cooking for a lot of people, yeah, but as an individual, unless it's like a super cheese dish, there's no way I'm going through all that cheese. So we've got Parmesan, we've got breadcrumb. Yes, that is actually considered in food health departments under standard laws. Brick cheese, block cheese, is you can just cut mold off of it. And I'm doing some shredded mozzarella over the top of that. I just remembered now I'm not going to do it because I'm already too far into it. I was going to use up the last of my blue cheese in this vegetable gratin. But yeah, that's not going to happen now. I'm going to clean up this cast iron because we're going to need that for our steak. More or less. I would accept it as a gratin in most cases there. The real art of a gratin, though, is nailing that dry to liquid, combo. Because, like I said, I'm trying to anticipate those vegetables having a bunch of ice and them being frozen. They're going to release a bunch of liquid into that pan. Breadcrumbs, cheese, the relatively thick bechamel to begin with, all hopefully are going to help absorb some of that. Our sauce up here is getting a little too hot, or our gravy. Add a touch more water in with that, I'm going to keep cooking it. It's just going to help with the onion flavor and the spices. What bean? Not drinking beans. Though it does make me wonder why we don't have bean-based alcohols. I could splits. Just chop that up. not a very efficient use of the fat though, because I don't really want to chew on raw beef fat. I'm going to start melting this fat in the pan here. Just in anticipation and making sure our pan is completely well heated up ahead of time before putting the steak on there. We're still a ways from that, considering that the gratin has not even entered the oven. It still needs to cook for a while, and I haven't done the potatoes up yet. What kind of coffee am I drinking? Locally roasted coffee. Master of Slits, most certainly it's possible. They're a starch, they can be consumed, much like any other starch by yeast, to make a beer or beginning, make a wort, make a beer. It's probably a price thing. Corn and rice are pretty cheap comparably. But Rage, I used to sell coffee a bunch, and I've represented a couple of local brands of coffee, and I assume there might be one or two people that have watched me over the years, and I'm just not really trying to support any of them anymore. Not that I have any problem with Sunshine, or not that I have any problem with Sunshine. Sunshine's great, but I suggest for all the rest of you that are not local to me, find a nice local roaster that knows what they're doing, because it's really an art of getting beans in a couple times a year and roasting to get a perfect profile over the year. And while I'm sure you can vacuum pack things and people say it's perfectly fine to keep it fresh and all that, why? Is it somehow that much more special than supporting a small local shop? I've been drinking a lot of cheap teas in the last year or two here. It used to be basically all I was drinking for a good 10-15 years there was coffee, water, maybe soda with dessert, with dinner, and if I went out for dinner before I was streaming, and then booze. Now it's tea is crept in there, and yeah, that's our tater timer. Let's take a look at these taters. I'm gonna fork them. we're gonna give those another couple more minutes. The tater timer is getting reset for 10 minutes. Hey Alex, welcome in. Good evening to you. We've got beef tonight, Alex. Hey Chad, I told you I was going to use all this beef with making the sauce. I haven't put any of it in the sauce, have I? So we're going to throw all this in the sauce now. Into the gravy. Since this is just really the odds and ends from the bone and the odds and ends from that. So that's all up there in the gravy now. We're rendering beef fat for searing our steak. Our gratins there. Got another 8 minutes on our goodies in the oven. Potatoes in the oven. So we're chilling for a couple minutes here. Actually, I think I might take a couple minute break here if you don't mind, chat. While that cooks for about 5 minutes or so. A little shorter than break than usual. Shorter AFK than usual. Do a little old school commercial action here, and even though it's only been 30 minutes since the last P-roll removing ads, we're going to roll those here too. Sorry, Alex. Just taking a couple minutes here.
A pleasure, Milton. In just a moment, we'll see how well Milton does at the Pentagon. But if you want to see busy hands at your house, just you offer this lively Christmas party dip that's so good to serve with king-size Fritos corn chips. Just follow the recipe right on the Fritos package. Of course, it calls for the famous Philadelphia brand cream cheese, an 8-ounce package, which we blended with 2 tablespoons of milk till it's nice and smooth like so. Then come 2 tablespoons of Kraft cream-style horseradish for zesty flavor, a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and finally, a dash of salt. And we'll blend our Philly mixture again. And when party time comes, let the folks enjoy this wonderful Philly horseradish dip with crisp king-size Fritos. There are those busy hands. Just remember, you make the best-tasting dips with the freshest-tasting cream cheese you can buy. Philadelphia brand cream cheese, made only by Kraft.
Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread gives you 7 ounces of non-fat milk solids in every loaf, the equal of 90 quarts a year if you serve it regularly. Every sandwich you make, every snack, gives you extra milk. For wonderful flavor combined with sound food values, serve Schmidt's Blue Ribbon Bread in the pantry pack.
You are now looking at a slice of bread being spread with creamy-style Skippy peanut butter, as only Mary Ellen can spread it. All right, now, as you look at that, don't want you to leave me, because I want to show you something, believe it or not, that a lot of people like even better. Suppose we were to take some fresh roasted peanuts here, and like Mary Ellen has been doing all evening, and putting them in a nut chopper here. Give a couple more little chugs, will you, please? Mm-hmm. I think that'll do it just fine. Now you find in there some just tiny little golden nuggets of roasted peanuts, and they are colossal. Now, I want to try something here. Suppose we were to take these, now let me try an experiment, do you mind, honey? And we'd sprinkle them over the creamy-style Skippy. Say, how is that, huh?
Ooh, that looks good.
It does look good. All I did that for was to tell you that
Dollar
you can
message.
get that and enjoy it anytime you want. You won't have to go through any chopping process either, because the Skippy people do that for you in chunk style. That's done for you up in the factory. Now, Chunk
Dollar
Style,
message.
you see, has sprinkled all through it, very generously, through the entire jar, those golden little nuggets that you saw. They're just about like that. So that's already done for you.
Dollar
there.
message.
Now, of course, either style, whether it's cream or chunky. If you get Skippy, you are getting the peanut butter that stays fresh right down to the last spoonful in
Dollar
the jar.
message.
And so I make it very simple again. I want you to know that this is an honest fact.
If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
Dollar message.
If you're still watching television on a small screen set, you're missing a lot. Here, for example, is a close-up on a 10-inch set. See how much smaller it is than my head? Now I'd like to show you the same close-up on a 21-inch set. There. Just look at the difference. She's as big as I am now. You can have big screen close-ups just like that. Close-ups as large as life with RCA Victor's great new 21-inch model, the Master 21. At the lowest 21-inch price in RCA Victor history, as little as $199.95. Visit your RCA Victor dealer soon. See television's greatest value, the Master 21. Big screen 21-inch quality TV for $199.95. And remember, every year more people buy RCA Victor than any other television.
Now, a new creation from Seal Test. Cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions. Handy envelopes bring you brand new convenience and ease. Zip, it's open, quick and neat. Just the amount you need, the easy way to serve cottage cheese. The rest stays moist and creamy. Ready for next time.
Are they handy? Cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions.
So easy to use, quick, and no bother at all.
The rest stays really fresh, moist, and creamy.
Yes, serving cottage cheese was never as easy as this. Seal Test's new square package with handy, ready-to-serve portions. Zip, it's open. Simple as can be. The rest stays moist and creamy fresh. You'll love Seal Test cottage cheese in new, ready-to-serve portions. Get some soon.
Welcome back, chat. Let's get the music back rolling here. This sauce is getting a bit dry again, so I'm gonna add a bit more water in here with the gravy up here. No, most of those ads predate me. Those ads are actually all part of the Smithsonian collection. No, I was definitely born after Wizard of Oz. Yes, that is how interlinked in my brain The Color of Money and The Wizard of Oz is. if anyone has seen the... I mean, it wasn't done on purpose. They've stated it wasn't done on purpose. It's still freaky how well that record pairs to the beginning of that movie. So that was the timer on our potatoes. Let's take a look at these once again. Another 10 minutes. They should be cooked by now. Those are doing a bit better now. Gonna have to let those sit down, cool down for a little bit. The reason this is the reason this is such a great restaurant dish, by the way, chat, or potato skins. You can do this in bulk ahead of time, prepare them all ahead of time, and then you're just frying them or reheating them to order. No, they've been baked once. They need to be baked a second time, but they need some work first. I am going to turn the oven temp down now, 350-ish. I am debating if I want to have these and turn them into 4, or if I want to try and be cutesy and turn them into just 2 big ones. I'm sort of thinking 4 is probably the better plan. But we have to let these sit for a little bit before we can get into getting into them. But just enough that, you know, we're comfortable handling them with like gloves, which I'm gonna put on, help with the heat, or some people use paper towel. Paper towel is paper towel is good for removing skin from things, so it makes it sort of a bad one for this because it tends to, you know, what moisture is there, it absorbs and it almost like latches onto anything that's been, the skin of whatever has been cooked. I think I'm going to have these. That is not pleasant. It's tolerable, but it's not pleasant. Giving my hand a break here and checking everything over on the stove. You want to do this while it's warm enough that the insides haven't gelled up from cooling, but it's cool enough that you can tolerate it in your hand. That first one was a bit early. These second, or the last three have been much more tolerable. I don't want this completely mashed potato. I want there to be some chunkiness in there just to give it some character, but not that chunky. You want it fully mashed up, you can do it fully mashed up. New plan for the blue cheese. Nah, let's not. We'll just still have the blue cheese. We've got fresh rosemary and fresh thyme and chives, maybe. We'll see how fresh the chives still are. I really don't like these, like, quote, living herb things. the like they're selling it like you're still gonna be able to keep it alive because one, it's not intended to continue growing like that. That little block is gonna hinder it from continuing to do so. It's not the typical one you're buying at the garden center for starting your seeds. And two, it's a variety that doesn't continue growing, and so it's not going to seed. It's not going to give you a second generation. A little bit of fresh rosemary. I'm not using that whole. I'm using about half of that sprig, and we're going to chop that up pretty fine. You making noise over here? Water. It's cooking for a bit, so. This would be, yes, Tillamook. Purchased on sale because it's my number 2 choice. Sorry to the rest of the world, but I have a couple of other local options actually. But Tillamook makes some good stuff, it's just not local. I've got both Clover and Strauss here. And I think it's probably primarily because it's a local thing. Like, you take Clover and drive it out up north to Tillamook territory. It'll probably be about as good as Tillamook that you drive down here. So I don't know how long we're going to have Sonoma County cheeses and dairy and all of that here if we're having votes about family farms being considered CAFOs. For those unfamiliar, Sonoma County just recently had a bill rejected, proudly and strongly rejected by the locals, that was pushed. And I think it was pushed because they wanted to have it fail. They wanted it to be a win for actually the CAFOs, despite it being really a win for the small family farms here, because it helps their, don't get rid of us. Like, I don't see any of the cattle places being here as big and running as large as Harris. That's sort of what I think of when I think of CAFO. Onion powder. Nothing but cow smells for miles on a highway. We still occasionally have Sonoma Aroma days here, as the locals have branded them, but it's not like it's smelling like a cattle shed constantly out here. I wish I could have gotten Clover sour cream too, but supermarket doesn't carry, sadly. They carry like a half dozen other Clover products. They usually carry Clover eggs, but they haven't recently. Their eggs have been really bad lately with my big chain supermarket lately. Throwing a gratin in the oven at 350. Adding the bacon in here. But nice, Rach. Still make some good stuff. Make good ice cream too. I mourn the loss of Three Twins. Three Twins was a Petaluma company, and they went up, belly up. They tried to expand with a partnership, and I think that failed on them. But they're the reason that everyone has lemon cookie ice cream now. That sounds delicious. Just about any stone fruit with ice cream is a good time. Why aren't you sealing, bag? Please seal for me, bag. Rendering beef fats making some noises. So we're gonna get this, mix all of this together a bit. Try and break up those big clumps of sour cream I got going here. Need some salt and pepper in there. I put the butter away. I wasn't supposed to do that. Grating butter into the mixture. You'll note I'm not using the same grater that I use for most other things like this. This one's a little bit easier to clean for something like this. That gets us nice thin strands of butter that's going to hopefully mix in here a little more easier than just chunked in there. So here's our filling for our twice baked potatoes. Yum, yum, yum. And let's get a spoon. It's a little bit better for this project. And fill them up so that they're even. We should have more than even because, well, we added things, but make sure that we're even between the four. We'll get a baseline in all four of them and then divvy up what's left. And there's no reason to really compress these. There's sort of I have a sort of a natural desire to want to just like pack them down tight. There's no good reason to do that. It's just, and because I want to do that, I assume other people naturally just want to do that. That's why I bring that up. It's actually probably going to be a little bit better. You'll get a little more height out of it by not packing it all down. Touch more of that Tillamook on top. Let's see what we got going on over here at the stove now. Nope, don't want to do that with my fingers. Let's do that with a fork. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these back in there into the oven for their second bake. Actually, I'm going to hold off onto that because we can do that once the steak comes off of the flame here. I think it is time to deal with our steak, actually, chat. I think it is time to deal with our steak. And in that case, I think it's time I need a drink. Let's grab some of that fine box wine we have. Over pour ourselves a glass. Let that hang out here for a minute because someone mentioned letting it air. I don't typically let most of my supermarket wines, I don't typically bother. This is greatly improved with a little bit of air. And get rid of our lardons, beef lardons. And we're going to salt this baby up. Steak. Now I'm going to start with the fattiest part of this, which is not typical for a steak, but I am going to start searing this and working around the outside here, and then we'll hit the sides. Actually, we're going to wait a moment and make sure that pan is nice and smoky first. Got a light smoke coming off of that right now. It's actually a bit heavy on the oil there. Still a nice layer of oil there, but poured quite a bit of that off. I don't want to throw that in the trash just in case it's too hot. We're smoking enough now that I think we're going to go ahead and go in with our first part of the sear. Balancing it there on that fatty tip of the roast. Music, where'd you go? Oh, you're still playing. I just can't hear you. Let me correct my earbud volume. Checking in on our gratin. And for anyone just tuning in or new into the show, what I do here on my stream is I cook 4 nights a week, and it's typically, other than Sunday, Monday, cooking day, day off, cooking day, day off. And that way, leftovers from tonight, i.e. I'm not going to eat all of that steak tonight, is tomorrow's dinner. This is in lieu of me doing more like prep foods or project meals. These are fine with it moving, I just don't want them falling. See that silver skin poking out there? Not wanting to cook the same rate of everything else here. I didn't want you to fall. Keeping the oil off of the edge and off of the sides as much as I can to prevent any sort of flashover. Going for that first sip, chat. Cheers to everyone out there with my watermarked glass. Yeah. Needs a minute to rest. Nice. Gotta make eye contact when you clink. I gotta figure out what I want to do with this scotch I bought that is really smoky and peaty. And yeah, I have no idea what I'm gonna use that for. I'm not gonna drink it. All right, throwing our choice baked taters into the oven now, along with the gratin. We're gonna give our steak a flip here. Gotta say, I can't mind the look of that. Or don't mind the look of that. Though, chat, you'll notice the longer it cooks on this side, that beautiful color won't be there. We're shooting for that beautiful color on the other side, really. A little granulated garlic. Now the time use my favorite spoon. Oh no, we're doing one more flip before that. I'm getting ahead of myself. top. And give this a little more time on its bottom here because it was getting a little oozy. What am I doing? Butter needs to stay on there. Getting rid of the raw steak board and knife. Oops. Flame off on the steak. touch more salt in the gravy. That's rosemary you see on top of the steak. Oh, darn it. I got both of them dirty. Actually, let's clean this. I need a board for this steak. They were delicious. I could have added even more thyme or maybe infused the butter with the thyme and made it even stronger. But even still, they were delicious. Final basting over the top there. It's a timer on our gratin. Almost, Alex. I'm giving the gravy a little bit more of a warm up, and the potatoes I'm giving another minute or two. The oven's off though, so it's cooling. Our gratin's looking gorgeous. It's almost looking a little washed out there on screen. But we gotta let that steak rest another couple minutes. We're just now getting back to a boil on our gravy over here. There's mozzarella and Parmesan on top. And breadcrumbs. Yeah, maybe could have gone a little heavier in the cheese on top, but those are looking gorgeous, and I know from trying a little bit interior, I mean, all that sour cream, all that butter, you know, it's not just the cheddar there. It's a party. All right, let's break into this. Get rid of the string. Right through the center. See, just a nice sear on the outside. That's pretty rare in the interior still. Sorry, rest of steak going bye-bye from view for now. I choose you and you. Because why not? We had the extra pieces of meat and the bone and off. I have no idea they can see me. It was a big steak because I took it off of a, like, I mean, that was easily 2.5 inch thick steak. Let's grab some photos. Let's have photo time. Some scone? Please sit there nicely. All right, taking photos. Let's break into some of this here. Taters. Not in love with that bite of cauliflower I just had. Much stronger cauliflower flavor than I'm used to. Whatever variety of cauliflower they're using in this mix. But I think that is going to call it for tonight. I shall be back here on Sunday and Monday. I don't have solid plans for Sunday. My plans for Sunday is that I'm going out grocery shopping Saturday night and seeing what I can find, seeing what's interesting. I gotta stack up on some of the around the house stuff, that good stuff, doing sort of like monthly or bi-monthly shopping here tomorrow. And so after that, so Saturday night I should have plans for you on what I'm doing on Sunday. And Monday, doing chili, but we're doing white bean, chicken, and green chili. And that's going to be, the recipe for that is in the Discord, along with a recipe for crackers to go along with it. So that is the plans for Monday. Vote for Wednesday in the Discord as always. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Go out, have some fun. Be happy. Good night, folks.